I'm sales team turnaround specialist Jeremy DeMerchant, and each week I bring sales leaders like you experts and insights that will help you level up your leadership, motivate like a master, and ultimately crush your comp plan. If it's time to raise the bar on your team's performance, then it's time for Sales Team Rescue. Welcome to Sales Team Rescue, episode number 96. I am your host, Jeremy DeMerchant, and today I want to talk about something that I see a lot of solopreneurs, a lot of small business owners that are moving into this space wanting to grow a team. I see a lot of them face this as a challenge. And this challenge is, how do I monitor my results or my sales team's results? And in a previous episode, we talked about how important it is to inspect what you expect in the form of a sales team that's tracking the numbers, that's recording calls and listening to them. But what we haven't really touched on in too much depth is, if you are not at the point where you've got a sales rep, but you're doing all your calls and you want to keep getting better, you also should be recording your calls. And I bring that up because I've spent years trying to find a great CRM, a customer relationship management system or client relationship management system, that gives you everything you need at a price point that someone that's newer in business can actually afford. And there's some great systems out there. There's some big names that we're all really familiar with. And there's some little names that maybe we're not. And I wanted to do this episode for a couple reasons. One is because recording your own calls and your team's calls is so vitally important and so easily overlooked. I bet as you listen to this, you are someone that either does sales calls with your personal cell phone and you don't record them, or you had done it that way for a long, long time. And the reason that that's problematic is because you can't get better. You don't have the time in the middle of a conversation or a call to go and assess each piece in that moment. You need to go back after the fact. You need to go and assess yourself. You need to evaluate your own call. And as you build a team, you need to do it for them or have a manager do it for them. But you can only do that if you're on a system or use some software that can record a call. And this one software, and I don't want to give away the name yet, but I will in a minute. This one software, the CRM, is something I had not heard about until about 7 months ago, when I first started using it with one of my clients. And we went through and did a very in-depth analysis to see the quality of what it offered, see the features it offered. And to be honest, the first thing that caught my attention is it allowed for sales representatives or, as a CEO, whoever, to use the phone and to call directly through the CRM. So click to dial. You can also text through that number as well. So on the customer side of things, it's the experience of a normal cell phone. But you can call through the CRM on your end. The calls get recorded. You can turn that on or off. And as a disclaimer, check your laws. If you need to disclose that your calls are being recorded, do so. It doesn't have to be a big deal. And let's just talk about that really quick. If you're in a scenario where you don't record your calls because you think, one, you have to let people know, depending on the law, you may have to, but it doesn't have to be that complex. You can say, and you can even set up on like phone calls coming in, you can answer or have a message saying, for quality assurance purposes, your call may be recorded. Simple as that. And if they, most people aren't going to not continue the call. Your utility companies do that all the time. If you're calling out to someone, if you have to acknowledge that your call is being recorded, you can start and do the intro and just say, by the way, real quick, do you mind if I record the call just for quality and training purposes? And most people will say yes. Well, they'll say, no, I don't mind. So it's not normally an issue, rarely. And I talk with customers through different clients about some financial things, about personal things, business challenges. And I think twice in the last year, I've had people say, I prefer if you didn't record it. And that's fine. But if you make it a habit to record, then you're going to have much better results because you've got the capacity to go back, or you got the resources to go back. If you have the time capacity, and you should make it, you can go back and listen to those calls. And in the CRM that I'm going to tell you about, the calls get stored right in the system. There's an integration with Twilio. It's really smooth once it's set up. It's fantastic. So you can do texts, you can do phone calls, you can do, like I mentioned, call recordings. That's all within the CRM, and everything's documented. It also has two-way email sync, which I love. A lot of CRMs have that, but some of them don't have it at the base level. So everything that I just mentioned, the CRM that I'm talking about actually has it all at the entry level. And the entry level price is only $15 a person. That's if you pay monthly. If you do it annually, it's like $12. So it's so inexpensive, and it takes all the excuses off the table for someone not to be recording their calls. And this includes you as a CEO. And the reason why I want to encourage this is because once you have your calls recorded, you can take those recordings, transcribe them, and with some editing, turn it into a script. It doesn't have to be that complex. And the CRM takes all the hassle out of it. So if this alone just recorded calls at $15 a month, I would recommend it. But it doesn't just record calls. It does the thing that I've been looking literally for years to find in a CRM. And that is one that you can call and you can text through, and that has a mobile app so that if you're not in front of your computer, you can still have that texting and calling experience from your phone. And on the client side, they don't know any different. So and all the texts get stored there as well. Call recordings, texts, emails, all listed right there, as well as notes and tasks and all the typical things you'd expect in a CRM. So the CRM is called salesmate.io. And if you were looking to have better quality sales conversations, your next step is to record your calls. And even if you have a bigger system, let me just, as a disclaimer here, I'm actually a reseller of multiple CRMs. And so I'm about to shoot all my opportunity out of, gonna knock it out of the park in all the worst ways for my ability to promote other CRMs, because I'm a reseller for multiple great CRMs. And I choose multiple because I want to be able to give the best recommendation. And when I'm an affiliate for them, that gives me an opportunity to get inside information, to be able to see behind the scenes and the upcoming features, and allows me to make a better recommendation. But I don't just choose one that pays me the best and say this is the one everybody should use. In fact, SalesMate, transparently, probably has the least competitive affiliate program out of all of them. And so if I wanted to give you the one that I was going to make the most money on, I've got many other ones that I could suggest. But if you are someone, and the other part is that with SalesMate, not only is it good from day one, like if you're flying solo, you can use SalesMate. $15, Bob's your uncle, everything's set up. And if you want to upgrade for other features, and there's new stuff that they have as well, they've just added the ability to have like a website chat where the conversations go into the CRM. It's a couple extra bucks. You don't have to do it, but there's just so many pieces built in. So I want you to check this out, and I want you to jump on a 14-day trial. So if you go to salesteamrescue.com/CRM, all lowercase, you can sign up for a 14-day free trial of SalesMate. Try it out. I know this sounds like a commercial. They did not pay me to do this, although I am an affiliate. So if you do sign up, I do get something. But the reason why this is so important is not because of the, here's my transparency. I don't think I signed an NDA for this. So if you sign up for $15, I think I make $2 a month. So I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this because so many people struggle to record their calls. So many people find reasons why they can't progress and why they can't make that progress in their business because they're too busy. There's too many moving pieces they don't want to figure out. And I get it. There's many CRMs out there that'll integrate with a third-party software where you can record calls and dial through the system and all that jazz. I resell those too. But the simplest, most effective has been SalesMate. And I don't have it in front of me, but I guess I can bring it up because, we're alive on the interwebs right now. They've actually won a bunch of awards. So let me just bring this up. And I know if you were listening, you can't see it, which is why I'm not doing any kind of screen sharing. I just want to check some of the awards that I know that they've received to give you an idea. Okay, here we go. So they got G2. Yeah, G2. Give them the High Performer Award for summer of 2020. They got an award for GetApp. They're a category leader for 2021. Front runners for software advice 2021. Capterra shortlist for 2021. Guys, these guys are actually one of the best CRMs, and it's like no one's ever heard of them. But they are doing a phenomenal job creating a software that is built to truly support sales and even service. Like there's at the second level, the $30 a month level, you can build in a team inbox and use that as your support inbox. So if people are coming in and looking for support solutions, you've got a team inbox you can use. And you can have, I think, up to 3 email addresses going into that team inbox so that if you've got a team on there, they can all make sure your customer concerns or tickets that get created are all tracked. So there's so many things. And I want you to go check it out. So go to salesteamrescue.com/CRM. And I'm going to do a video that's more detailed, that's going to have screen shares, because if you're listening on the podcast, I want you to be able to get it. So the link will be in the show notes. And if it's not there yet, give me a week if you're really on the ball, but it should be there as you're listening to this on the podcast. And if you're watching the video live, it'll be in the comments within the next 7 to 14 days. Okay. I just want to do a good job doing this review. But SalesMate has been very impressive. I've been using it with clients for between 6 and 7 months now, and phenomenal. Works for high ticket, works for low ticket. You can use it for SaaS products. I use it mainly for high-end coaching products, and the tracking is brilliant. Okay, guys. So I just want to get in here and highlight this because it is so important to get yourself on the record. That's the title of this episode, On the Record, because you want to have your calls on the record for yourself and your team's calls on the record so you can review them. No one's going to get better unless you can see what you're currently doing. In the moment, you're doing the best that you can when you're on these calls, but you need to go and take your salesperson hat off and put your CEO hat on or manager hat on and evaluate these calls. And from a non-biased perspective, identify the things that you could have done better and build that into your strategy to get better. And there's many options. Right? I'm not here just to push SalesMate. There are many options, and I don't care what you use as long as you're recording your calls. But if you want something that's truly simple and has it all built in at a very cost-effective level, check out SalesMate and go to salesteamrescue.com/CRM. Okay. That's it for today, guys. I want to remind you that if you want to catch the replay of this episode or link directly to the podcast or some free downloads or to book a call with me directly, go to salesteamrescue.com and you will see me, Jeremy DeMerchant, right here next Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern on Headspace TV. Cheers, guys. Thanks for joining me. Let's keep the conversation going. You can find more episodes and a link to join our online community over at salesteamrescue.com. If you haven't already, be sure to hit subscribe and give the show a review to help us reach more sales leaders like you. If you'd like our support in creating your own high-performance sales team, book a call with us at salesteamrescue.com.